Hello and welcome back. I know that everybody is waiting for a video from me about the polar reversal and start talking about that subject. Yes, so this one is the first one. The title of this one is The Beginning, because everything has to start somewhere. So before, why did I choose that title? Because after polar reversal, after this whole magnetic flip, when Earth is going to switch, there is going to be a beginning. And none of you, or at least not many of you, are actually talking about. Everyone is right now preoccupied things like safe places, the survival stuff, where are the safe zones, what is going to happen, and all the other stuff associated with that. But there is no one even talking on internet about that, about the future, about the beginning, what will happen afterwards, what are our dreams associated with it, how do we see the future, how do we want the system to work, how many of us is going to survive, how we are going to manage our affair, what is going to be, how do we want the life to be. And no one is talking about that. So I am going to try to do that in this whole series, but first we need to talk about the end, because that's what's approaching within the next 20 years. You won't hear me, by the way. It's only a few more years that I can produce some videos, talk to you, because after I am guessing about 5 or maybe even less, internet might go silence and no one will be able to communicate with each other. So take the opportunity when you have to search for something meaningful, for stuff that is appealing to you, it's uplifting you, not crap that something happened, Afghanistan, or the corruption, or this is not going to get you anywhere. In fact, it does not make your life any better or easier just because someone is gonna be indicted. That doesn't matter to you. And stop stressing out how you should survive and what you should do, what you should buy and where you should go, because the more people are going to be moving towards the place where seemingly the safe spots are, then there are going to be conflicts, and there are going to be violence, and there is going to be all kinds of problems that you want to avoid. As I always mention, almost in every video, the only way that you can stay afloat is when you form some form of society, some form of group, where you as a group will undertake some project and then work on that project. The good starting point is what Douglas is proposing. However, I wouldn't do the way he does at all. Look at find on YouTube, you can find Project Venus. Just type that and you will find many videos coming from there, and look at how those people get organized, how he got the funding for this, and so on. Because right now, if you really are committed to stay and see the whole process of polar reversal, the magnetic reversal, then the best way is to involve someone with lots of money. In other words, you need to suck up to someone that is willing to donate a large sum to, let's say, 2,000-3,000 people, which have defined idea what they want to do with that. That the components that you will need to have in that project are: you need to have water, you need to have shelter, you need to have food, and those things are going to be you need to acquire them in extreme conditions, not right away, because you still have about 15-16 years where still the weather is going to be not so friendly, but you can grow your stuff and you can survive on whatever you will grow. The water is going to be there, the sun is going still to be there, and those things are in your favor. Within the groups, once you find someone that is going to help you, but provide not so much money, because money is worthless, useless anyway, but to provide the resources. You will need building materials, you are going to need some seeds and other stuff that it requires on the land for the people to build the shelters for themselves and purify water and stuff like that. So you need to remember that. And don't try to invest money in stuff like batteries, reusable, or some power generators, even the hand cranked. They will work for a while, closer to the end. Have some generators, but try to figure out how to harness the electricity from the nature without investing lots of money, because this is gonna go down the drain anyway. So, and then after those years, you are going to be more restricted. The condition on the outside are going to be not so friendly. There is going to be more radiation, more electric shocks, more lightnings, more earthquakes, volcanoes, ashes, the sulfuric acid rain. So you have plenty of years to prepare yourself for that and work a system how to deal with those things. I don't know if you saw the video from Ben about the celebrities already. They start building the shelters, bunkers, what's not. I hope you don't go that route, because I cannot discourage them from doing that, but their approach is most likely they will fail. But well, everybody has the right to do whatever they want. You need to understand that on your team, if you decide to go that route, you need to have people which do understand the nature. They know how to deal with the elements, because most of you has absolutely no clue, no idea. You never grew anything in your life in the garden. You have no idea how to get water. You have no idea how to dig your roots. You might be offended by that, but that's true. And speaking of food, the best things for you are seeds. The one that can grow very quickly, you can keep replenishing them, and roots, because roots, even though some of them can grow really big, they can stay in the ground, and you can simply storage them there. So, and mushrooms, because mushrooms can grow in the caves. They are fine. As long as they have a moisture and a little bit of warmth, they grow. They don't need light. So, but there is one thing that I need to reiterate to you. Make sure that if you have already the group of people that you are working with, start making contribution right now. Don't wait until sometimes later. You should already start collecting all the seeds in airtight containers and place them in strategic points where only you and the people that are with you know where they are, and replenish them or replace them about 4 or 5 years. Every 4 or 5 years, the one that are there, just take them out and put the fresh one there, and put that in excess. It's better to have more of that than not enough. So How you gonna organize that? That is up to you. I want to point something else in relation to that video that Ben made about the celebrities, Bezos making all the preparations, including the rocket to shoot up. This indicates that how little people have faith in the government institutions. Some of the government institutions, they already did some provisions, but they are afraid that what was done is only for the elites or selected one. Now I am going to tell you something that is going to sound really crazy. Do you think that inside of those institutions, the government institutions, are people that put all that effort for the past 200 years to build those shelters, to refurbish the old ones, make all the devices and technology what they have there working for people that they never work in their lives, they have no idea what nature is, they cannot build anything, they are useless, they have a lot of money, and do you think that this is for them? And some of those people are in 50s, 60s, so 20 years from now they are useless anyway. So you think the government is going to take those people into their shelters? No. There are lots of tunnels everywhere in Europe, in Africa. I am aware of almost every country where there are some structures underground to at least temporarily help people through the process. But the places where the tunnels are right now, some are known, some are not. But believe me, the spaces are far too much that they will need that. Yes, you hear me correctly. There is not going to be 7 billion people needing them. There is something that is going to happen prior to that, something very important. And no, it's not going to be the killing vaccines, like the Russell Brand is saying that the vaccines are designed to kill people and get rid of most of them. No, I already mentioned the stem cells that were in those vaccines. They have a different purpose, and they are designed for different things. I don't want to discuss that right now. And by the way, if people were dying from those vaccines, they would be dying in already in hundreds or thousands. So there is a different purpose for that. So make sure you understand that. But people are already spreading that you know, they are designed to, or leave that on the side. Why? There is going to be way too much place free. You can pick and choose which cave or which tunnel you can go. There is coming something that is your challenge, everybody's challenge. There are going to be conflicts, and serious conflicts. The situation I already mentioned in one of my videos is so daring that the Fatima is going to happen. In other words, two people from our time right now are going to 1917 to convince people and to change the way they manage their affairs, and you already know they failed. However, there is something very strange, because that Fatima did not happen as it is presented in the books, in the writings, in the history. It happens on a different day. So I don't understand that, but something has changed. Either the people that did that they already know that they failed, they did it second time, and it's possible that it's going to happen for the third time. Leave that subject for now. I am going to talk about those anomalies and special energies and tunnels and bridges and what's not on some other time. But that's exactly what Fatima is all about. that the situation in the world is so gruesome that the top guys, they decided, you know what, we have to do something about that, not to allow this to unfold in such a way, to prevent that, but it's going to happen anyway. So as the time progresses, the Earth is going to be rotating faster. We are at some point we are going to have 1 hour shorter day. What will happen that the Earth is going to be stretching on a around the equator, and is going to be shrinking around the axis, North Pole and South Pole axis. And then at some point, right now, the reason is going to increase the speed is because when those poles are on the angle, they act like a blade in the fan. So when the solar wind blows, they are kind of a little bit off to each other. It goes like increase the speed. Just that wind, the solar wind, is making the Earth spinning faster and faster. And at some point, there is going to be another pole popping up, but that's going to be like 5 years before the main event, or maybe 4 years before the event, and then the Earth is going to start slowing down. So in the process of stretching, there is going to be a lot of earthquakes, a lot of volcanoes, a lot of masses of land is going to vanish, because when you understand that centrifugal force is going to bring all the water from top and bottom to the equator. So there is going to be a lot of heavy weight in there, and that means crashing the plates down, and the continents are going to be constantly changing. So there is going to be deaths because of that. People are going to be dying in millions. I am afraid that soon is going in Turkey, Constantinople, or I think it's Constantinople, is going to be demolished completely. There are going to be a few million people dead. Greece is going to be hit, and of course San Francisco, all that area there, this is going to be basically gone because of that stretching. As if that was not enough, then there is going to be the conflict, international conflict that basically is supposed to happen in China, between China and Russia. It is going to be some kind of misunderstanding. The way I see it is going to be the Chinese are going to try to intercept something, a train, a load of something, I don't know, something going towards Russia, but the conflict is going to move to their territory, and the Russians are going to respond, and then the Chinese are going to drop more soldiers, and you will just, I don't want to go into that in depth. So that is going to be a major event in the world where billions of people are going to be killed, destroyed, vanished. This is not the last thing. Then we are having a visitor heading this way. It's supposed to be comet. It's not that big, but the way it's going to hit, it's going to cause a lot of problems, because it's going to slam into the North Sea, and when it's going to hit, before it, most likely it's going to break the same way like the Shoemaker. It was Saturn or Jupiter, one of those. It's going to break into pieces, but still the force at which they are going to smash into the ocean, and they carry a lot of charge, electric charge, that the exchange is going to cause a massive tsunamis, and those tsunamis are also going to contribute to more volcanoes, more earthquakes, and change of the shorelines basically in every continent. So those are the things that you will have to face before the main event. People in the city, when they realize, because the food shortage is going to start shortly, we are about 3 years away from from that, and I am suspecting that the U.S. election in 2024 is going to be very violent. In fact, the mid-election, is going to be also a problematic, because there is a lot of tension in there, the lawsuits and what's not. This is all not necessary. Those people should put those things behind and try to find a solution, because if they don't, then 24 is going to be violent, and then everything is going to be hanging in balance until 26, and 26 is going to be one of the worst years in human history. Life's going to be lost, like millions a day. So I don't want to be the guy of bad messages, but you deserve to know that. So, and cities basically are going to be empty. They are gonna be a playground for gangs and thieves and what's not. It's gonna be just free range. You can drive around, shoot around, and what's not. In most part of the earth, there is going to be no power, because the grid is going to go down. But in some places, the power is going to be still on. It just doesn't mean, like, when there is the solar flare going to happen and freeze the electric grid. Some countries are prepared for that. They already work on system that is going to help them through this difficult time. However, closer to the end, everything is gonna go down. Like, I mean, there is no chance to protect that from, because the electric current in those devices is going to be interacting with whatever power source is on the outside, and the power on the surge on the outside is going to be so humongous that there is no insulator that can protect that. And electricity is always attracted to copper, iron, and all the other metals. So basically, you understand now. And every computer, you already watched probably the video that no computer is safe. All that is going to be gone. So will your Bitcoin, because they are all harvested through computers, and that is not going to be anymore available. Before going into this mode of survival, you need to understand why you are doing this. Is this because you are afraid of pain? Are you afraid of that human life stop exist and there is no chance to ever humans to be on Earth? Or whatever the reason is, before you even start planning anything else. That's what you need to do. That's the first thing. Because you need to understand your reason. The reasons are your driving force behind it. Are you greedy? You want to start your own country, your bloodline, your kingdom? Or you just want to start fresh? You are looking forward to something new, exciting. Or you just want to be greedy. Believe me, this is important. Be honest with yourself. Because most people, they want to go and survive at all costs for not to suffer pain, because they are afraid. Somehow they don't understand that they will die anyway, but this doesn't ring a bell to them. And the other thing is, which almost everybody is missing, that when something ends, something new starts. I'm looking forward. I don't care. I'm not doing any preparation for survival, what's not, because why? What for? If I die, which is going to happen anyway, then I'm gonna go to the catwalk, and I'm just gonna, okay, I want to be this, and I want that, and I want the universe, make it happen. Easy. And people struggle. They are scared because, my God, humans will disappear. Humans will not disappear unless the conditions are going to be so bad that there is not worth it to be here. But to survive because you want at all costs, just to suffer for the next 100 and 500 years, I don't know how long this is going to take until eventually the civilization is going to be rebuilt to a status where we can enjoy it. It's going to take a lot of work. And when you are working with cranky people, you are going to have cranky results. But if you are if we are working with people which are looking forward and giving the best from themselves, then yes, this whatever is going to happen is going to be awesome. But right now, what the celebrities are doing and what all the billionaires are doing, it doesn't look that way. They only try to do stuff for themselves so they can reestablish themselves as a I don't know, kings, queens, what's not. That is not the way to go. So if you are one of those, well, I cannot say don't do that, because that would be stupid. Because you know, you have kids, or you are gonna have kids, you understand. Never tell them what not to do. Believe me, I know that. The best thing is not to say anything. You want to do it, go for it. The same thing here. If you want to do and start your own kingdom, go for it. Then you will see maybe it wasn't a good idea later on, but first you need to experience that. Same thing with the survival. Let those celebrities build those shelters, because they eventually going to be useful at some point, if not for them, for somebody else. But there is no way that we can discourage them from doing that. It's better when we work as a group towards common goal, the way we used to do, let's say 30,000 years ago, when we gather around pyramids and the teachers were explaining what the polar reversal is and what is going to happen afterwards and how we can contribute, what the chances are, and so on, and who is going to go into the underground or into the pyramids to survive. And there was no problem, there was no fighting, everybody understood. Yes, they told us the truth, this is how it's gonna go, this is what we need to do. Today is a different story. Everything is either conspiracy or deception, or some lies on TV or in media, on internet, or right now whatever you see and hear is all crap. Everything. Just don't try to think this way, that the alternative media are telling you the truth. That's all garbage. Everything. In one way or the other, they are connected either to one side or the other. But they have a purpose, because they want clicks, money, visitors, because they live from that. So they need to produce material that is appealing to their viewers. Understand? Probably the most important thing that you will need and learn how to do is the water, because without the water you will not survive. So learn how to purify, or how to get the water from the ground. Even though closer to the end, the water from the ground is not going to be too good. There are lots of chemical factories and places where when earthquake happen, there are going to be leaks into the ground, and unless you have some kind of probes or chemicals that you can test the water if it's good, then you are fine. But if you don't have that, don't take a chance, because the water might be contaminated with something that can kill you if you decide to go that route. Because there is another different way of doing this thing, and I am going to talk about that in my next video. Alright, so for now, if you like this type of content, please subscribe, please like this video, please check the notification bell so you will have the you will be notified as soon as the video comes.